Is it on? Are we good? Thank you for coming out this afternoon. Can you guys hear? We good?
You're waiting till the airplanes go by.
We're good? Thank you for coming out this afternoon. My name is Representative Reginald Bolding. I represent District 27, South Phoenix, Laveen, Guadalupe, and downtown Phoenix. Today, responding to concerns, I introduced two bills meant to increase trust and collaboration between law enforcement agencies and community members. Recently, I had many conversations with people in my district who are concerned by the number of officer-involved shootings across the country and here in Arizona. I've talked to law enforcement officers who feel the need for our citizens to be more engaged, but they also feel the need for themselves to show transparency as well. I've introduced two bills that will help foster a strong working relationship between our law enforcement officers and also our community. House Bill 2511 requires local and state law enforcement officers to wear body cameras while on duty to ensure both their own safety and the safety of the communities they protect. It would also establish a study committee for peace officers and body cameras. House Bill 2512 would require an external investigation for any fatal officer-involved shootings. A law enforcement officer who was not from the same agency as the officer involved in the fatality would actually conduct the independent investigation. These two bills provide mutual protection for both community members and also law enforcement officers. I've had the opportunity to talk to several law enforcement agencies, including the Arizona Police Association and also the Phoenix Sergeants and Lieutenants Association. Both groups are receptive to this idea of body cameras and external investigations, and we look forward to continue the conversation and dialogue with them in the future. I'd like to bring up to the podium Benjamin Taylor, who will be talking just a little bit more about the support from the National Bar Association.
Good afternoon, good morning. My name is Benjamin Taylor. I'm an attorney and I represent the National Bar Association. The National Bar Association consists of many attorneys, judges, and law students throughout the nation. And we support Representative Bolding's bill, and we think and we know that this will protect the citizens of our community and police officers. We are all one community. So we are out here to show our support for Representative Bolding and both of his bills. Thank you. And I will be introducing Representative Reginald Bolding.
Walton, thank you. Good morning, my name is Reverend Reginald Walton. I represent and I am the chair of the Arizona Black Lives Matter campaign. We stand here in unity with Representative Bolding in this bold step to ensure the safety of our police officers and law enforcement and to build trust with the community. Both of these bills are groundbreaking as they bridge the gap that has so recently been broken, repairing the trust that has been broken. And we applaud Representative Bolding and all of these people that have come out to show their support. Thank you. I am actually going to be introducing my co-chair, Ms. Tia Oso, who also represents BAJI, which is the Black Alliance for Justice Initiative. Ms. Oso.
Immigration. Good morning, everyone. My name is Tia Oso, and I am the Arizona organizer for the Black Alliance for Just Immigration, as well as coordinator of the National Black Immigration Network. As a member of the Arizona Black Lives Matter campaign, as well as a co-chair of the Black Brown Coalition, we're here today to talk about the importance of taking steps in policy towards engaging the community and restoring the public trust when it comes to law enforcement. Law enforcement officials are sworn to protect and serve, and we've seen a violation of this public trust through racial profiling as well as the killing of unarmed citizens. And so we're in support of legislation and policy moves that restores accountability, also will help to collect data, as well as really institutionalize some measures that will give us a proper and due recourse, right, for protection under the law for people who feel that they have been violated by law enforcement, as well as to provide an opportunity for law enforcement to show that they are willing to be held accountable, that they're willing to be held to a higher standard when it comes to accountability, and also are willing to work with members of the community towards solutions to all of these very pressing issues in our community. Next, you're going to hear from Tony Navarrete from Promise, Arizona.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Tony Navarrete, as she has mentioned, with Promise, Arizona, and we are an immigrant rights organization. I work with hundreds of immigrant families, and we have dealt with, law enforcement on the good side and not so good side. And I do applaud Representative Bolding's bill, House Bill 2511, in terms of making sure that there is additional trust added to our communities. I think this is a win-win situation, not only for law enforcement, but also for our families that have lost some trust, with law enforcement. And we have seen a trend across the country where there's just a loss of trust, a mistrust with that group. And I think that this is a way to move forward in a good direction. And I think that House Bill 2511 does so. Once again, thank you again.
With that, we'll take any questions that you may have at this time.
Okay, hope this will actually become law.
Absolutely. I think what you've seen is not only on the Democratic side, but also Republican side, there's been measures pointed toward actually ensuring that body cameras and law enforcement agencies are building trust. So absolutely.
Hey, there's no funding in this bill, I'm assuming. You got to pay for this.
Absolutely. So when we talk about funding, we're looking into different funding options, and we are currently running numbers to see what that cost would be. We hope that this will be a conversation when we continue with budget negotiations. So we put our money in things that we prioritize, and we hope that individuals and representatives and senators in the legislature prioritize public safety.
Representative, does your bill indicate how the body camera footage would be secured, could be put in under what circumstances?
So currently those are conversations that we had with the Arizona Police Association regarding just possible amendments that we may make to the bill. We have no problem, and there is no problem with ensuring that police departments have the ability to not only fulfill the investigation, go through the investigation, and also redact information, particularly if it involves individuals who may be minors or those who may be involved in domestic violence and things of that nature. So we have no problem with that.
There's a local company. Have you guys talked to them about the body cameras and having that involved instead of going through the legislature paying for it?
Not at this time.
How exactly would this rebuild trust with law enforcement?
So one thing that it does is when you have body cameras, you have an extra set of eyes, another pair of eyes that's there, that's currently providing trust from a standpoint that we're often at this time where it's one person's word against the others. And what body cameras allows us to do is not only build that trust, accountability, and transparency by providing another viewpoint, another vantage point of things that are taking place currently in the field of duty.
You said Sean Matson was going to be here. Police officer?
Yeah, so president of the Police Sergeant and Lieutenant Association?
Yeah.
He's not here at this time, so.
Why?
You'd have to ask him.
Okay.
You don't think it indicates any lack of support for this, do you?
Absolutely not. There has been conversations regarding body cameras across the country in every single state. And one thing that, again, with Benjamin Taylor and the National Bar Association, they're working with several legislators, senators, representatives across the country. Body cameras was something that will definitely take place in this legislative cycle. So absolutely not.
What's the support you're getting from the entire body of the House and the Senate?
I think right now I'm surrounded by members of the House right now, so I think that we're getting support.
So you're not surrounded by the entire, so have you taken a poll? Have you gotten kind of at least a loose idea of how many people and percentages?
We're continuing to have conversations with members of each body.
Have you had any Republicans sign on as co-sponsors on your legislation?
This bill was introduced as myself as the sponsor, but I expect support on both sides of the aisle.
And have you spoken to people on both sides of the aisle? For how long? I just want to get a gist. That's to lay down the bill. So what do you have that made you come forward with?
And so one of the things that has consistently happened, not only in the African American community, but communities across this state, when you look at marches, when you look at protests, you see multi-generational, multi-racial protests that are continue to take place in our streets. And there's community organizations, members who are standing with the community, and they want to ensure that there's a strong trust between law enforcement and the community. So this is something that has not just started. This is something that has been a long time coming.
But your expectations of Republican support notwithstanding, do you have any firm support? Has anybody in the legislature who's a Republican said to you, I like your bill?
Right now, there's current legislation that's being drafted from the Republican Party that's dealing with body cameras. So,
will you support that legislation if yours work out?
I have not seen it at this time.
So what if it comes down to the point where you have two bills, so often happens they're conflicting with each other, one negates the other? Will you try to merge and come together with your bill on one side or the other, depending on which one has support, which way it gets over?
So the Democratic Party has always been one in which we're looking to work with individuals, no matter what side of the aisle you are. And that's something that, as a member of the Democratic caucus here, I'll continue to work with members on both sides to ensure that we get sound legislation.
Do you have any idea of how many, the number of body cameras that are currently being used in Arizona, and are you pleased with how they've been used so far?
So currently there's multiple different departments that are using body cameras. There's been some studies that have shown that there's certain police departments here that are actually, there are some models that we need to continue to look at. As far as the approximate number of body cameras per individual agency, per department, I don't have that number.
Do you have any idea of what the cost of the cameras will be? I know LAPD has already appropriated $1.5 million of body cameras. What type of funding will you guys have?
So we're currently looking at the cost of these cameras as we speak.
So there's no estimation yet for you that you know how much we're putting on. That's big. That will be the telltale sign whether it gets passed by the legislature and gets passed, or goes to the Parliament.
Absolutely, and that's why we're continuing to work with the Joint Budget Legislative Council to ensure that we have exact numbers so we can ensure that not only we're looking at the cost for body cameras, but also the cost of storing the data as well. With that, thank you.
Good stuff.
Thanks for sending. Yeah.